That one they call God his.
What?
Him, he, his.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, his.
Oh, old school, eh?
Yeah, not their or them, whom, his.
His like.
What are you
his-
saying? God has a penis, Dave? Is that what you're going to start the show with? You know we're on the internet right now.
That's the way I learned the Bible.
The guy was always his
He had a
Absolutely.
beard and some sort of
A
cloak.
big white beard.
to cover his Johnson.
Sort of cloak.
I agree. All right, guys. You ready? Whenever you are, you just hit it.
The red storm has it fell. Right smack on top of it. Sedona aeroplane. Well, John Ford said, won't you hop on it? It's a stagecoach, baby, gonna take you out for a spin. Oh, now hey, little Hollywood, you're gone, but you're not forgot. You got the cash, but your credit's no good. You flipped the script and you shot the plot. And I remember when the neon used to burn so bright and big, so bright and big. Saturday night, well, it's kind of big. The blacklist and its host. Came down so swift. They drove us to the coast. Go to California, but we're all out of work. Hell, I guess that's better than a grain in a dust. Oh, whoa. Well, hey, little Hollywood, you're gone, but you're not forgot. You got the cash, but your credit's no good. You flipped the strip and you shot the plot. But I remember when the neon used to burn so bright and big, so bright and big. Saturday night, yeah, it's kind of hey. Dead bulls in their rush. The duct tape makes you hush. Well, hey there, so don't let me cut you a deal. I'm a little hungover and I might have to steal your soul. Whoa. Now, hey, little Hollywood, you're gone, but you're not forgot. You got the cash, but your credit's no good. You flipped the script and you shot the plot. I remember when the neon used to burn so bright and big, so bright and big. Saturday night, kind of big.
You know, most people, when they go through their day-to-day work lives and it comes time for Thursday night to roll around, they just, what do? Sit and wish for the days of Cheers and Friends and all that Seinfeld and all the shit that happened. Is that what they do? Or do you just move on with your life and realize it's not the 90s anymore and get a bunch of your friends together, some of the coolest guys in the world, give them all a different instrument, come into a pool shed in Pine Grove,
Way more fun.
and make the greatest podcast in, I don't know, in the world.
In history.
History? Are we making that claim today, Dave?
I think so.
We did it!
Greatest podcast in history.
We finally did it, and I'm so happy. And you know what's so great about tonight's show? We have the greatest guests that we've ever had on the program. The greatest band in Canadian late night history, bar none, the Nocturnal Emissions, is our guest tonight.
No way.
Yeah,
doing
and
it.
you can't ask for any better than that.
Doing it?
But there's only one way to get it started.
How's that, Peter?
Well, you know what it is, Mike. We do this thing on our show. It's called a theme song.
Oh.
Welcome, everybody, to Live from the Dutch Hall. We are Canada's only late-night talk show and the greatest podcast ever to come out of a pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario.
All right.
Bar none. Because of our great guests tonight, they've made the show, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest band in Canadian late-night history, the Nocturnal Emissions, everyone.
All right.
It's comprised this week of my favorite rendition of the Nocturnal Emissions, the purest form, I think. Band leader Michael Bow on rhythm and vocals. Everyone.
Hello there.
All right.
Beside him is old cockhead himself. I like that nickname better than Rooster. I like it better than old ham bone. I like it better than Fat Boy, even. Old cockhead. Dave the Rooster Chargers. Let's hear it for him.
It just fits.
What?
It just fits.
It just fits. And beside him, on lead guitar, just rocking it. Just owning it over there. That's Steve the Reluctant German, everybody. Give him a hello.
Hey, hey.
And here he is. I think he was the star of my candidate party, to be quite honest with you. Happy he showed up, and he's where he belongs as the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions on bass. It's Whiskey Wes Haggins, everybody.
Come on.
And as per CRTC rules, but you know what? I'm going to go further than that and say, you know what? Screw the CRTC. I just like this guy. The French tickler, Ken Belanche, is on the show.
All right. Hello.
And who's that guy he's like a director. He's actually doing something. His fingers still work.
A real veteran of the bar.
That's my brother. You might recognize him. He does everything around here. Paul Van Dyke, everyone. Paul, you want to do the introduction to me, or should I do it?
No. Well, I'll do it.
Oh, nice.
Hey guys, now introducing the host for the best late night talk show ever. Yeah. The host from Live from the Dutch Hall, it's Pete Van Dyke.
Hey.
All right.
Oh, hey, he's also won 2 of President's Club's award winners.
2 times.
Twice.
2 times.
It's all
Hey,
bullshit.
don't worry, Paul. It will get covered. There's no way one of these shows is going to get started without recognizing my 2-time President's Club Awards. 2-time President's Club Awards. You know what? I gave up a good chunk of my life there in those awards. My children barely even could recognize their daddy's face. You know, in order for me to give my life up to a nameless, faceless corporation, and they gave me a crystal trophy in order to honor me
Twice.
2 times.
twice in a row.
Back to back.
Back to back.
Swept it under the carpet like it was shit.
I left it. What I did was it was like if you won an Oscar and then you just went to a world where no one had ever seen a movie before. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yep.
As soon as I left my job, that award meant shit.
Yeah.
So I talk about it every week.
You're the big winner of shit.
Yeah, I'm the big winner of that shit.
Crystal shit.
And everyone was like, "You won 2 of those?" Yeah, back to back, baby. What have you won? Oh, you think I'm not going to throw that in my boss's face? You know, you think you're not going to throw it in old fucking dipshit's face? Like, would you do that, David? As soon as you know you have power, would you use it against your boss and try to to show him that you can't live without me? Now I'm going to grind you for more cash.
I do it every day.
Yeah, you do it. You gotta know your own worth, man.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Fight for it. You gotta pimp yourself out. No one else is gonna do it because you're ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mean me, or just people in general?
Oh, I was talking about you.
Oh yeah.
Specifically you. You could not whore yourself out to men or women. Oh, bears. Oh yeah, you're a bear. Bears. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
We figured that out last week.
Yeah, you are quite a hot commodity in the gay community. Yeah, I was just thinking of like a normal
Why? What's not normal about being gay?
No. Being gay is normal. Being gay and liking you is the abnormal. Is the part I can't get my head around. I understand when two dudes who work out all the time and they have good fashion sense and
no body hair.
Yeah, they wear nice cologne. They have a nice naked butthole and
That's
whatever.
normal.
It's stretchy.
Bleached.
Whatever you like. I'm all for that. I just don't understand a guy would like you. You know, yeah, any more than a woman that likes you. Like my cousin Teresa is always like, I love her. She's one of my favorite people in the world. But what is she seeing in you? I can't see. I've to this day, she's never been able to explain it to me.
Oh, you should ask her this weekend.
She told me before that she has no idea. Yeah, she has no idea. She used to know, but she's forgotten many years ago. That's what she said.
Well,
Does that sound about right,
that's
Dave?
believable also.
Yeah.
These Polish tricks have worked.
I'm sorry, David. What are we going to do? We had Canada Day last week.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Go Canada.
151.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Well, how old are we?
151.
151? Is that what we are?
That's
Oh, yeah, last year was 150, right? It was a
Yeah.
big deal, right?
I can do that kind of math.
Was that a sesquicentennial?
That's right.
Hey,
Plus
That's a
one.
good rum, is what
hey,
it
hey,
is.
hey, Kev.
Ah oui.
Parlez-vous, Jacques Larue? Hey, you know...
C'est bon.
Say, yeah.
Come see, comes up.
I thought always that Pepe Le Pew was funny. How they, the funniest part was how they made fun of French. Like they just put le in front of everything, like oink, like meow. You know, I always thought that was hilarious
That
as a
cat
kid.
that he always chased, the meow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to fuck that cat real bad, man. And I think that that cat, Pepe never threatened to spray her or nothing.
Nope.
He was
Wouldn't-
always a
He
gentleman
wanted to spray her with something else.
with his dick stuff. Yeah,
Dick juice.
yeah, he didn't want
Wouldn't she float on his scent down the... Or was that him floating?
Him.
him.
The
He would
love
float
scent.
on the cat's love scent
When she was running
down
away.
the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew's the shit, man.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a cool guy.
yeah.
Who's cooler? Like maybe Foghorn
Foghorn
Leghorn.
Leghorn, I was going to say, yeah.
But sometimes that dog gets Foghorn Leghorn. Actually,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not always.
The dog's pretty cool. Like, I don't know if it's the same dog, but the one where the puppy keeps jumping over. Like, what are we doing today, Spike? What are we doing today?
Yeah.
Spike's pretty cool.
Who? The big one?
Yeah, the big one.
The bulldog.
Yeah, that
the
just whacks
bulldog.
him?
Yeah.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end it switches, eh?
Always.
And then the big bulldog becomes the bitch, jumping over the chihuahua or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what happens to Dave in the gay world.
Oh, is that what
Eventually he
happens?
switches. Yeah.
Are the bears the submissive ones?
By the end of the cartoon, yeah.
Oh, I don't understand this. Do you know, Dave? Are you into the
I don't.
gay stuff?
I actually don't have the answer to that question, so I don't.
Now,
know it off.
I understand. Like you were a progressive fellow, right, Dave?
I guess so. Like I don't.
Like you're open minded.
Definitely,
You work you have a real job, correct? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Where they train you to be like tolerant of everything, right?
No. Yeah, I guess that's sort of the corporate culture is tolerance, but I didn't need to be trained.
Okay, I get that. Okay, because you're just a good person, right? Let's
right.
let's establish that first.
In my heart.
Yeah. Okay, you're a good person. Now, okay, like let's say, where's the limit to that? Do you know?
To me, being a good person.
No, to them being able to tell you what's good and what's bad. That's what I'm wondering about. You know what I mean? Like when you go to work, they can say, okay, you
don't really
don't want to do
associate the
anything
two.
that's going to be controversial, but like at the
I honestly consider myself to be like ahead of the curve. Like I don't think they're going to catch up to me, basically, no matter what they shove at everyone.
Yeah, you're ahead of it. You're even more progressive than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more tolerant.
Yep.
More like Christian or whatever, going to heavenish. But not even Christian because it's beyond that, eh? Because even if you weren't Christian,
Really, I don't really give a fuck about any of that stuff. I think that's at the core of it.
but your language is filthy, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that'd be on the record. Good thing they don't know where you work, right? Anyways, we have a game that we're gonna play tonight. It's called This Wheel Behind Me. It's just us guys, but we have a wheel. So I put new shit on the wheel. Can you get like a one shot on me, Paul, there? And then just see if we can see the wheel. So I put a bunch of shit on the wheel just so that we would, this is the stuff I was supposed to talk about in a show. You know, normally I write this on a piece of paper and then we never get to any of it.
Right.
So this is the stuff we're supposed to get to in the show. Let's start off here. Tonight's program is dedicated
Wow.
to Lawrence William Van Dyke. Yeah, my great cat. Mike, you're the only one I'm breaking the news to. Everyone else knows.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was a tragedy last week. Succumbed to liver cancer. My cat, Larry. And you know what? I was raised on a farm, as was my brother Paul, as was Michael. And we were taught that cats were like kind of like a lesser species of animal to a dog. And meant to just like catch mice in a barn, and then there'd be lots of them, and you'd run a lot of them over with your tractors and such.
Yeah, and then they do weird shit after you run them over.
Yeah, you just bury them then, and then they're gone, right? No emotion whatsoever to any of it.
Not that you would aim for them, but
No.
you wouldn't swerve out of the way.
You've killed enough of them that you have no feelings towards them. It's like a deadness inside.
Yeah, you just
Right?
bury it and be done with it.
You don't think of it as a big deal. Like I remember I was at my old house. We didn't have no cats. There was a cat dead on my doorstep. I dug a hole. I threw the cat in. I had no emotion whatsoever for that. It was just a piece of garbage to dispose of, you know. And then and then I had Larry, a cat Larry,
Right.
which we swear we'd never had a pet, and then we had a cat, and Larry was a great cat. And we talked about him many times on the show because he was always been a great cat. He's very tolerant. One of my favorite Larry stories. I think we have to talk about it. We might as well just do the spot on the wheel as I describe
let's
it.
just do
So.
it.
Because it's dedicated to Larry, right?
That's right.
Makes sense.
Anyways.
Just try and hold it together.
Thanks, Dave. Well, that's my point. That's where I was headed with that point, is that you sit there, I have no regard, no emotion, like, for animals, you know? But then this is my kid's first animal, right? This is the first cat, animal I've allowed in my house, you know? He had a different relationship with every member of my family. It's a whole different thing. You know, it's not a disposable cat anymore. It's a big deal. So here I am at the vet, you know, putting it to sleep. And I'm like crying like a baby in front of this like little nurse or whatever. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I grew up on a farm. I should be ashamed of myself, you know? It's like, it's ridiculous, you know, how attached you get to an animal. Anyways.
Are they called nurses at the vet office?
I don't know. What? They're
Vet
not a
tech?
vet. Vet
No.
tech? What do you call
Yeah,
them?
I don't know what you call them.
I don't know.
I think
Did you call the
I
vet
think vet
doctor
tech is
that
right.
day?
The vet was a doctor.
The doctor of veterinarianism?
Yeah, doctor of veterinary medicine. I don't know. That doctor knew what she was doing. That nurse knew what she was doing, so I didn't have a problem with any of it. You know, except for it cost me like $1,300 to kill my cat.
Wow.
Because it took me $1,000 to find out he was going to die, and then that night he died, and it cost me $300 to get rid of him, or $325 or whatever. So you're like $1,300. The cat only cost me $100. It costs like to buy a cat costs $100. To bury a cat costs $1,300. That's a
Okay.
lot of money.
You should have called your brother.
Yeah, or
Hey, Paul. Oh, what does Paul have to do with any of this?
Nothing at all. I'm
Nothing
sorry.
at all. What does that have to do with anything, Dave?
I just meant to console you in your time
Are
of
you
sorrow.
delirious?
I thought Paul would be a good shoulder to cry on.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank goodness.
I
I
don't know
thought you were
what
talking
you were
about something
going
different.
I don't know.
That was a close one. I have been telling that story on stage, and I do reveal the identity.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because no one knows.
Dead stock removal.
I think the statute of limitations is gone, and the fact that if you, and this is a going back. I don't know, people that don't understand what we're talking about right now, go back and listen to an old show. But I'm just saying, if you burn your donkey and then cry like a baby, you should be allowed to be forgiven for burning your donkey, because even you felt bad about it. Like you didn't, you know. In fact, it's probably more respectful than if you just put it in a pile of other donkeys and just throw diesel fuel on it all, and then just scoop up the ashes and put it in a manure spreader and convince the people that it was spread into a field. You know,
put a little bit of gas in with the diesel fuel, it lights better.
Well, it's just for the ignition in case it's a damp day.
I don't think farmers are discreet enough about that kind of thing.
There's a real divide.
There's a lot of farms that I've worked on, especially around Oxford County, and I won't name any names, but you'll be doing any sort of like field tile work, and all of a sudden it's just like, what's that smell? What is that smell? And it's just right there, right next to like gravel pit and like a topsoil pile, and then a bunch of cows, some pigs, and a bunch of hay mixed in, and that's multiple places too.
Yeah.
And it's right there, like right at the back of the farm, just kind of right out in the open.
Yeah, one of the things we'd have to do for
for
an environmental assessment of farms was we had to ask, like, how do you dispose of your dead animals, right? And some would say they would get dead stock to pick it up, and some would say manure pile. They would just say, we pick up our dead pigs, we throw them in the manure pile, or we pick up our dead cow, like calves or whatever, throw them in the manure pile, and then the manure just like eats away at the animal until it becomes pretty much waste, just like teeth you spread on your field.
Back to the earth.
Oh, yeah, back to the earth. Right?
Yeah.
But there's a different sensibility when you grow up in the country on a farm and where you grow up on in town, right? And you don't have any tie to that. You don't have the stomach for it, is what I'm saying. But when you've been exposed to it since you've been young,
Oh yeah.
you realize that, you know, like that cow that's in your backyard is eventually going to be, you know, slaughtered so that you can eat it.
Yeah.
And you realize those cows don't want to live. That's the truth. You know it. You can see it in their eyes. They're not like enjoying life. Right?
When am I getting a bolt?
Yeah, from the beginning they're begging for it, eh?
I've had enough of this.
Yeah. They're not enjoying themselves. The most fun, even when they're fucking, it doesn't look like they're having fun.
Just angry.
Yeah, they're just like, God damn it, I have to do this. Something in me making me do this. Please kill me, make me a steak. Please. That's why if you give them enough corn, they'll eat themselves to death. Right? Because they know it works.
Then you get a nice ribeye.
And it's delicious.
Oh, yeah, the fat on the outside, yellow.
Nice marbling.
Finish
Oh,
with,
just drippy.
finish with corn.
Thanks, Norpac.
Died of a heart attack from trying to make that work for you. Hope you enjoy it. Would you like that? Does that make a difference to you that the animals suffer greatly? Does that make it you happier to eat it or like or less happy?
I'm indifferent.
Like a foie gras, you know, that goose was sat there and like, you know, like Clockwork Orange, just force fed shit into its mouth. You know, the goose is just sitting there and in some machine just getting fed corn or whatever. And you don't care. You just eat its liver.
Makes its liver delicious. I think it's a good process.
You're very much like you're the dominant species, right? And you think that you should. That's
If we figured out how to make something taste good, why not?
It is good, man. There's no question about that. It is good. You have that little chutney, Dave? Huh?
Chutney.
Little cherry chutney? Maybe some foie gras.
Just spread it on a cracker.
Oh yeah, bring that Saturday.
A water
Charles
cracker.
goes to me. Charles like is having a party on Saturday. I'm not gonna tell you where because everyone will show up, Dave. Everyone will show up. But Charles got this party going on, and it's like a bunch of old friends that are gonna show up to this thing with their families. And Charles says, "Okay, me and my wife got the hamburgers and hot dogs. Pete, I want you to bring, what was it? Chicken galantine,
Yeah, galantine.
right? For an appetizer.
Google it.
It's like a chicken. It's like a roll. It's like you couldn't stuff a whole chicken with a bunch of different shit, and then you slice the chicken, but I think you got to debone it. It's like a really advanced, goddamn difficult process to get. You got to debone the chicken and have it stuffed with all this stuff, and then you roll it, and then you slice it into these like, it looks like a jelly roll, but it's filled with all this like
And it's called
savory
galantine.
Galantine. It's
Chicken
like the
galantine.
second hardest recipe
Is
to
that
make.
how it's pronounced, or is it like a different?
I'm not sure.
Now, neither of us would would have
Gelatine.
eaten it before, or I would be smart enough to know how to pronounce that. That's correct. It could be a million different things. Is it French?
That's what I
Gil-
mean. Like, was it like gelatine or something like
Oh,
that?
probably. Yeah, we both are too stupid to know that. But Charles, put your battery back in. It's really bothering me. The whole show is going to bug me. Sorry.
Just hanging out.
Anyways, I just didn't want it to wreck.
Thank you.
But what was I saying?
Galantine. Chicken
Galantine. Oh, yeah. The next. What do you make the next guy
We
bring?
got burgers and dogs.
And then the last guy had to bring baked Alaskan
Yeah, the guy driving the farthest, who's showing up at noon.
with
on
two
the hottest day
babies.
of the year.
With two babies. One like an infant, like a small infant, and then like a 2-year-old or something. And then you're making him bring baked Alaskan, which he has set on fire, right?
It's got to have meringue on it. And the meringue.
What kind of fucking party is this?
We're camping on the beach. We're camping on the beach.
Sounds like a prissy boy party.
I know. I tell you what I'm going to give him is a Norfolk County version of that chicken galantine. I'll tell you that. It's going to be fucking jelly roll with a fucking bucket of KFC with a drumstick just shoved in the fucking jelly roll. I'll be like, deal with that, Charters. There you go, appetizer. Everyone gets a jelly roll with a fucking drumstick stuck in it. Done.
You get a discount if you order all the dark meat from KFC.
Do you really?
Just a bucket of legs, please.
Who orders white meat?
Doesn't everyone?
Oh my God.
I don't.
Who else white meat?
I probably get a lot more white meat than dark meat.
If you went to KFC, when's the last time you went to KFC, Kevin?
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Long
because it
time.
makes you poop diarrhea.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it does to me too.
Or vomit.
Does that to everyone.
I don't know how people can eat it there. Like I can't make it home to my toilet. If I eat it at KFC, I can't get home fast enough, and I'm not going to poop at KFC. You know how many people have pooped there? Everybody. If you eat there, you're going to poop there.
You know what's
Get the
best?
fuck out. Get home. Get to a toilet quickly. You've ate KFC. That's what
Slides right through.
it's greased up. Your poop chute is greased up.
You ever? The best is you take a bucket of chicken, you just put it right in the fridge. You don't eat any of it till the next day.
Ah, good
Oh,
call.
I had a bucket of chicken.
A bucket of
in
cold chicken?
years.
Veteran
Yeah,
move,
right out of the
Dave.
fridge.
Veteran move.
Years.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had a bucket. Yeah, I don't know when the last time I had a bucket
grew
of
up
chicken
with
was.
that, but all fast food has changed. Everything
Yeah.
is so processed tasting now.
Yeah, it's not
To
the
me,
same as it
it's
was.
just nothing's the same.
When
as
I
it
was
But in the States, they go to, like, I think we were in Chatham or something one time, or someone was in Chatham one time at a KFC, and there was a woman from Detroit that was at the KFC there who was asking for mashed potatoes and corn on the cob and all this shit. And the Canadian KFC's like, we don't have any of that stuff. We got, like, French fries, and we got
Macaroni salad.
macaroni
Easy.
salad. We got that green shit. And what's the other thing they got? Potato salad.
Potato salad, yeah.
Right? That's it. And the potato salad's garbage. And then we have our chicken and French fries, and then we have gravy.
And the gravy you can
And the woman's
stand a
like,
spoon in.
What am I supposed to put the gravy on my French fries? That's what the lady said in line.
My freedom fries?
Yeah, this is pre 9/11, Dave.
Ah.
Before the freedom fry thing caught on, right?
I was in Kentucky one time, and the KFC had a fucking buffet. All you can eat KFC buffet.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's different too because they have mashed
crazy.
potatoes. They have like it's a real. It's actually pretty good food. Like it's pretty like you got a lot more food.
There was a lot of food, but I wouldn't say it was good.
Mashed potatoes?
There was a lot of real. I looked like a toothpick in there compared to the people eating at the KFC buffet.
The regulars.
Oh yeah, a lot of big people in there.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
you can't eat like that all the time.
Bring it in hot.
Hurt your bum after a while. You just bleed in the toilet.
Calories per dollar. That's the main thing they're going for.
They're feeding people like hogs, eh? That's what
Yeah.
they're doing. They're trying to just like slop feed the poorest people and to know how poor you can be to still survive, where you can shut up so we can have more of your money.
Yeah, it's cheap
That's what
too.
it seems like to me. It's like, let's just feed them as cheaply as we can and put sugar in it. They like that shit, you know?
Yeah, make the sodas bottomless.
Yeah.
A nice soda.
Yeah.
Take it a brown soda, Paul.
Yeah, can I get one too, Polly?
Oh, Paul.
Two, baby.
You know what we should do before we get too deep into the show is
what
get
should
to
we
a
do,
segment we call Feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. Motherfucking feedback.
Motherfucking feed.
Welcome to Feedback. We got feedback. This week's segment is brought to you by our friends at Amazon. If you'd like to go to our website, click on the Amazon banner, do your Amazon shop, and some of that money's going to come back and help our show. And if you've done that, I really thank you. If more people could do it, it'd be even better. Because we do seriously use that money just to put back into the show. We have never enjoyed a penny of profit from any of this.
Yeah, my battery's falling out.
Yeah, Dave's battery is held together with a
need
piece
help.
of shit tape. It's not even good tape. And it's so goddamn hot in here, it's like melting.
It's 78 now.
It's now 78. It keeps going up.
God.
And this is the Bow Farms donation. You know how much?
Dama.
Yeah. I mean, this is just all through the grace of God. We even have it at 78 in here. Is because of the Bow Farms donation.
Yeah, hey.
That's how this show has been slugged together.
Hopefully this crop
up.
year goes well, and
Well,
we can get a new air conditioner. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Nice rooftop unit.
industrial size.
Yeah. You know, I did forget to finish my story about my favorite Larry story.
Yeah, your favorite Larry story. I was going to remind you.
Yeah. One time I was in my bathroom and I was enjoying my alone time, watching my phone or iPad, some sort of device, watching some of my favorite movies.
Private browser.
Yeah. And Larry comes in, he's like trotting through the house, and all of a sudden he wants to come visit old Dad. He wants to visit Pete, right? Comes into the bathroom where he sits, and it catches me in the watching my movie. In a precarious position, I'd say. You know?
What, your cock out?
Yeah, a little bit.
1 foot up on the countertop.
Tickling my own balls. You know, the irregular. Feather up your ass. You know, just the red standard fare.
Feather plunger. What's the difference?
And then, but anyways, he catches me, and instead of like, he stopped once he noticed it. Once he noticed what was going on, he stops, and then he just like, he just turns around, puts his back to me, and waits till I'm finished.
He didn't leave.
He didn't leave. No, he just turned his back to let me do what I was doing,
Sat down.
and then. And then when I was finished, he's like, came in over and had a chat. Or had a little. I said, that's a good friend, you know? He doesn't make me feel bad about it. I didn't feel guilty. He's just letting me go on with whatever I got to do. Like, I've watched him lick his own balls a bunch of times. You know, it was even. It was kind of a fair trade.
Was his tail up when he turned around?
No, he turned around sitting. He just sat down, you know? No. What do you mean, Dave? You know what I heard in a joke? It's not my
I'm just
joke.
wondering how much you liked your cat.
It's not my joke, but I forget whose joke it is. I wish I could give him credit for it. Ah, damn it. I think it's Nick Kroll. You know Nick Kroll?
Nope.
He's the big mouth guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's his joke. He goes, how come a cat is only a foot tall, yet his asshole's always at eye level?
Good point.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Cat shows you their asshole because they're trying to like show you that they're cool. Right? They show you like, you know, we're not going to have a problem here. Have a check out my asshole. Look at it. It's weird. I know that. Have a good peek at it. I'm not a problem to you. That's what he's saying, right? I'm not going to show just any Joe my asshole, right? I'm showing it to you because I feel comfortable with you. That's what you do. Sometimes I used to show my cat my asshole just to say, you know what, right back at you, buddy. Enjoy that. You know what? Set him at ease.
Did you ever like knuckle assholes?
No, we didn't touch.
No.
We didn't touch.
Knuckle.
His whole life.
Just a little bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
No, that's gross to me. But
Good.
I understood his ways. You're just checking. You're like taking the temperature of how fucked up Pete's gotten. You're like, is Pete fucking his cat now? I'm going to throw a few feelers out there. Just find out if Pete's fucking his cat.
No, all good.
No, it seems like he's fine. It's just my way of coping, Michael, as I have, as I think of Larry's ass.
How many years with Larry?
He was a 5-year-old cat, man, cut down in the prime of his life. In the prime of his life. But he didn't suffer long. It was unbelievably fast. Anyways, let's get on with the feedback. We got feedback. You know what else she can do? You guys should realize this summer could be the greatest summer ever, but there's only one way to make it happen, and that's give us an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, and we're going to send you between 5 and 29 Van Dykes. It's Van Dyke Party Services, people. And those 5 to 29 Van Dykes are going to show up in bright yellow jackets. You're going to have the time of your life, and all it's going to cost you is $100 of cold hard cash, plus all of our expenses, which will be dear. And if you're not 100% satisfied, we will return that $100, but those expenses have run through our bodies and potentially yours. Van Dyke Party Services,
Don't live your life in regret.
brought to you by our good friends at Clean Flow.
Clean flow.
Great
Clean
people.
Flow, lube up your life. Clean Flow.
Oh, yeah.
Lube up your life. I like that. You know what? Clean Flow just wrote it to you. It's yours. I won't charge you a penny for it. Clean Flow, lube up your life. Right now, I'm going to have I can see pictures of people lubing up different parts of their body with Clean Flow products.
It works for me.
Yeah. I love lube.
Whatever works.
And who else? Norpac.
The beef people.
Holy.
Where was he? Where was he?
Left field.
Norpac.
He was just away.
Beef people.
He was just away from his mic.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
leaning to my right.
One more time. Norpac.
The beef people.
There we go. We're done. Army Electric, you know what? I think Derek might be getting, he needs some work. Does he need work?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
slow
haven't
down
heard
a
from him lately. Maybe he needs work. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm gonna leave it.
Well, in that case, he's excellent at what he does.
He is good at what he does. I would love one day to promote Derek because he's such a good, and you know what? It's not just Derek. It's all his people.
His crew, he's got a good crew.
Yeah, they're all good people. I'd love to promote them someday, but I can't because they're too goddamn busy. Leave them alone instead. Army Electric, if we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. And we don't get it right the second time,
You can go fuck yourself.
brought to you by Clean Flow as well.
Lube it up.
Lube up your
They
life.
lube up electricity.
Lube up your life.
Army Electric, brought to you by Clean Flow. We lube up electricity.
Whoa.
Okay? That doesn't even make sense. That sounds good.
Ever had a lightning bolt up your ass?
You better get some lube. And
You want to put that thing in dry. I'll tell you that. You don't want to put a lightning bolt in dry, Dave. It's going to chafe.
Stingy.
It's a quick stretch.
red bumps.
Red bumps. Anyways, every week we ask our listeners to please tell us what you think of the show. Provide us with some feedback. And this week, we got one listener who said this to us. I think this was on at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. He said, you had a real soccer hater on the show last week. That was Dylan Cunningham.
Yeah.
Really went on a rant. I stayed real quiet and let him do it. Let him get it out of his system, eh? I don't know why North Americans have hostility towards the beautiful game.
Yeah,
But
he's not a minority.
no, a lot of people hate soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It-
do.
Yeah, you do too, right?
Yeah.
I just got right in. I love the World Cup more than anything. It's my favorite tournament to watch of anything. Even like Olympic hockey, I'd rather watch the World Cup than Olympic hockey. Like that's how much I love the World Cup.
Wow.
Even when my team's not in it, and I'm watching like,
Yeah, it's really good this year.
You're
actually.
yeah, I don't care what teams I'm watching. It's like such drama. It's just great stories, and you know how important it is to everybody and stuff. I just really think it's great, and I like world competitions where everyone competes against other nations because all the little like
Tunisia's.
rivalries come out. Yeah,
Puerto Rico's
yeah. Who's your favorite of the tournament so far?
team,
Yeah,
Mexico still.
yeah. They're the ones that stole your heart this tournament.
Yeah, I think Mexico. I was cheering for, and you know who's really surprised? The Croats.
Well, funny you say that, Michael, because this listener also said, I know you had a hater on the show last week, but it's too bad because I'm sure lots of your fans enjoy the beautiful game as I do. It's too bad it will be over soon. It's going to be a great quarterfinal. I'm going with Croatia for another win. Best of luck to Italy's eastern neighbor since the Azzurri failed to qualify for the tournament. Keep cool, Bruce Veltri. Beltry, I am sorry about the Azzurri. I feel your pain, as the Dutch people, of course, are on the sidelines as well. But there's a little bit of me that's happy that you're going through it too, because it sucks doing it alone when everybody gets to make fun of us,
Yeah,
eh?
it's kind of nice we had Italy with us.
Yeah, Italy was with us, feeling it. I know when Portugal was out, I was happy. When Germany was out, I was very happy. Just so those guys would shut up about my team not making the tournament. And now No, I don't know. Who we got left? We got the Croats.
We got the Croats. We got the French. Tomorrow is French and Uruguay.
Oh, the Croats are playing Russia.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
a great, and England gets
Sweden.
Good matchup. Sweden's been excellent, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Swedes.
They lost to the Germans, though.
Yeah, just at the end.
Yeah. Did you see the England game? When in extra time, when Uruguay,
Shootout, eh?
but when they tied it up with like 93 minutes.
Crazy.
Like-
I think that's the thing that you and I like about it is like the kind of there's a lot of drama to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I'm not disagreeing with what Dylan said about those guys being a bunch of pussies because they are, and it is fucking ridiculous at times.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is other parts of the game that are quite
Also,
you
you
call
ha-
it beautiful, I guess.
also
Like,
technically a lot of times when those guys dive, they are just embellishing a foul so that the referee that's like 500 yards away
Right.
can see it. You know what I mean? They're not really hurt. It's just when they pretend they're hurt too long that's the problem.
Yeah.
But I don't mind a guy like saying like, "Oh, he kicked me," so like I'm supposed to get the ball. You know?
and that's why I think like the rest of the world has accepted that, but in North America, the way we view sports, you don't fucking do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You block a shot, you break your leg, you play that shift out, and then you win the fucking Stanley Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what we,
Yeah, and a broken foot like Bobby Bond.
yeah,
Yeah.
we praise those guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That is true.
Just look at it differently.
Yeah, it is true. That's the way we honor the people that are like playing like through
The hell.
everything. Yeah.
And those
Which
yeah,
yeah.
it's just our mentality. That's our sport. It's like, oh, you got a concussion? Yeah, just keep on going.
Yeah, keep on going and give it all.
Yeah.
What are you, a pussy? Anyways, thanks a lot, Bruce. And you know what? Just quickly, let's check quickly with the cheese lady.
Oh,
Can we?
check in on her?
Yeah, let's check on her.
See what she's doing. Checking on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, checking on the cheese lady, she's always on the run. Checking on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, checking on the cheese lady, she's always having fun. Checking on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, checking on the cheese lady, she's always on the run. Checking on the cheese lady, on the cheese lady, checking on the cheese lady, let's see what she's done. Hey Teresa, what up?
We are lucky to have a listener from Delhi named Teresa who owns a Second Mouse there. A great place to get your cheese. If you're saying, where do I get cheese from? Second Mouse in Delhi. Get it from her, right?
It's the best.
And Teresa, she gives us a little message every week. She likes to do it on Podbean. And this week she says, thanks for my Friday entertainment. Real short and sweet one.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We love you,
You're welcome.
Teresa.
You know what?
What?
That's it for the cheese lady. I think it was a little mailed in last week. Don't you think?
a little bit, but she's probably busy. It's cheese season.
Is it is it cheese season day?
Kids are off school. It's summertime. People are going on vacation. What do you want to bring on vacation? Some fucking cheese.
Yeah, you want to put that cheese on there?
Did a
Yeah.
nice tray of it even.
Oh yeah, especially the good stuff that you get from the Second Mouse in Delhi.
You know what I will do all the time is put a lump of blue cheese on my steak. If I'm going to eat a steak, I put a lump of blue cheese on it.
I like to make it into a compound butter.
Oh, who doesn't? Who doesn't, my friend? You know what?
What's that?
We should do
Oh, wheels.
Haitian Dwarf.
Oh.
What?
And I actually have a lyric.
Wow.
I thought he was dead.
It's off to bed we go.
Your sickly twat is dripping snot.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Oh, your sickly twat is dripping snot is what I meant to say.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it was a gross one this week.
Yucky.
Yucky.
That is
Yeah, why? Why?
You know what, Dave? I like to promote people finding good girls out there. And sometimes I like to promote the dangers of a fast woman that's out there just giving it away willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to have a dripping twat,
Snotty twat.
a snotty twat, or such.
snotty.
Snotty twatty.
Snotty twatty.
No.
Mucus.
And
That's gross.
it depends if it's clear or if it is green. Because the color of it is really important. Yellowy, brown, no good. No good, Dave. Stay away from it. Yes. Who David Tell says very wisely, an asshole shouldn't have freckles on it.
Yellowy brown, turn it down. That's our saying.
Yeah. Wear a condom. So, Haitian Dwarf says, Teresa sounds lovely, especially with all the cheese and whatnot. But why do you guys keep singing about chicken on the cheese lady? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, really. HD. And I'm like, Haitian Dwarf, number one, welcome back, buddy.
Yeah.
It's been some
a
time.
while.
We always think you're dead, but you know what? You're just living life, and I appreciate that. But you know what? Have you ever ate chicken off a Teresa the Cheese Lady before?
Then don't judge.
Yeah, because until you have, shut your mouth, you little bastard.
Prick job.
That's all I gotta say. We like to eat chicken off a lady from Delhi, owns a shop, sells cheese. No big deal. It's just
What the fuck
one
is wrong
band,
with that?
one bartender / director, myself and my wife. We go eat chicken off the cheese lady. And if you want to judge me for it, then that's your problem, dwarf. Mr. Dwarf, sorry. All right, that's it this week for feedback. We got feedback. What do you got to do, Dave? You got to pee?
Twinkle, twinkle.
Can we bring the cameras out there?
This is what we talk about.
Can we watch them?
We need a
Dave's
mobile
running away.
camera.
Let's spin this wheel. What
do
time
it.
do we start the show? Does anyone know?
10-ish.
Nope.
Yeah, quarter after, something like that.
10:20.
Front man.
Front man swap is what we rolled on the old wheel this week. Front man swap, and this is stemming from a story I read this week about there was an interview with the surviving members of the Tragically Hip,
Oh.
right? Saying that they would never play again since their front man died, right? And so it made me think, has there ever been a successful swap out of a front man who's died?
AC/DC.
AC/DC, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, AC/DC, right? Because Bon Scott died.
God bless him.
Yeah, but then they just kept carried on and got bigger, right?
Yes.
But
Bon Scott was awesome, but yeah,
yeah, he was awesome.
they was it Brian
Johnson.
Brian
Yes.
Johnson? Fucking
Is that the
kicks
only
ass.
time though?
Yep. Oh well.
But Bare Naked, who it went to the other guy?
Yeah, there was just two
David
guys that
Gilmour.
went to one guy.
Replaced Sid Barrett in Pink Floyd.
Oh, David Gilmour replaced Sid Barrett?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a really good one.
I don't know.
You can't do
nobody
Van
will know.
Halen because it was
No.
like kept getting progressively worse.
I don't know. I like both.
Like Van Hagar,
Okay. Oh yeah. I always forget about the other guys from those two.
Extreme,
Who was the other guys? The third dude? What was
I
his
don't know.
name?
Gary Sharon.
He
Yeah.
was there for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, one tour. And now they even fired that bass player and they got Wolfgang. I mean, when does a band not become the band anymore? Like, how do you know your band is like, what's the core of it?
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, and then like, it's like you're saying, I'm the shit. I'm going to be like Oasis or whatever. They could have still been Oasis without one of those
Yeah, but they're
guys.
not, and they're both still playing.
Yeah,
Both the brothers do it on their own now, right?
yeah. Except the one's way better.
Who do you think's better?
Noel.
Because he writes all the music.
I think Noel has more talent.
Way more, right?
Yeah, the other guy's just a singer. And he's just kind of a whiny singer at
Yeah,
that.
it's a certain singing too.
Yeah, and he's a dickhead, and he's like freaking mentally ill. Like he got like smashed up with a baseball bat when he was a kid, and he turned into like a retard.
He's interesting.
Sorry, a
that's
mentally
for sure.
challenged person.
He's a frontman.
Yeah,
Right.
he's like what you would think of as a frontman. Totally
Like a volatile dick, though, like an old school rock
old
front
school frontman. Yeah,
Like
Totally.
Scott Whalen was like that, right?
Axl Rose,
Jim Morrison,
Jim Morrison.
like the real asshole front man, right?
Yeah,
I like that because you go to the guy's show, you're not just going to watch the music, you're going for the spectacle of the what could happen because
Yeah.
the guys.
are they gonna snap on
Yeah.
something?
Remember when I was younger, we'd go see Dave Wilcox,
Oh yeah,
and he wasn't in very good shape. He was like into a lot of alcohol and drugs at the time.
his eyes rolling in the back of his head.
Yeah, you didn't know what Dave Wilcox you'd get on which night, right? But that was the kind of the fun of buying the ticket.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd get nothing. You'd have to go get your money back, because he wouldn't show up at all. But like it was the fun of it was like what's going to show up, what kind of train wrecks are you going to see, right? Yeah. I think there is something about that, right?
Oh, for sure.
We should do that with our show. We should just sacrifice one of our lives, like to just make
like Noel
to
Gallagher.
see what
or,
happens.
yeah, like to make you one of you in a Charlie Sheen. We'll just like tattoo a tiger on your chest.
Liam.
and go fucking balls out. Start feeding you tiger blood, Dave. I'm looking at you, Dave, because you're going to be the one that's going to do it. Let's do it. Let's shave Dave down, paint a tiger, or tattoo a tiger on his chest.
With the rest of his hair on the garage door.
Yeah. We should just do that. We'll like put a whole bunch of double-sided tape on the garage door, and you just have to like run as fast as you can and just like
We'll yank him off.
we'll yank you off when you're stuck to it.
We use wax, like the wax from the
Oh, wax strips.
Yeah.
Slap it on there.
Yeah, and then you go on there. Well, that's a good one for the telethon.
Swassing.
Oh yeah.
We should do that where we Dave has to go. We cover the garage door with wax, and you have to go shirtless or naked. Like you can wear a thong. Okay, one of the Barbie Mansion thongs.
Yeah, thank you, Barbie Mansion girls.
You can have my string.
And you have to like splatter yourself into the wax.
And then you guys peel me off.
Yeah, and then you do it backwards.
Like a big
Only if you
baby.
peel me off. You have to grab me and peel me off.
Yeah, I'll whip you against it and peel you off. We can do like the Irish whip, wrestling style. I'll give you an Irish whip right in the garage door, wax,
Right in the turnbuckle.
and then peel you off. Yeah, and all it's going to take for that is, you know what? New ashtray for the Dutch Hall.
Yeah.
Anyone that will donate that, Dave will do it.
Perfect.
I think that's a fair trade. New ashtray.
That's
Hey, I'll take an old can if you got it.
It worked for many different reasons. Tools, nuts and
Sorry.
bolts, ashtray.
What are we doing? Spinning it?
Yeah, let's spin the win.
Let's see what we got on this wheel. Oh, book us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we always
it.
forget to talk about ways to book our show and different things going on. We do have something going on where we're trying to book a comedy tour for August, and it's myself, Jason Allen, and Doug Koenig working on planning a tour. So if you are interested in having comedy to your town, please reach out to us at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or get to us at Dutch Hall, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And you know what? We also do have the greatest band in Canadian late night history, the Nocturnal Emissions,
Hell yes.
which are available for bookings as well. And you can go to the Nocturnal Emissions Facebook page, Nocturnal Emissions on Facebook.
Yeah.
Drop us a
The
note.
Nocturnal Emissions,
correct.
the Nocturnal Emissions.
And you can also email or message any of us or the Dutch Hall. It'll work.
Yeah, exactly. We will do it. And also, you know, if you give it to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, then I'll get it, and then I get to take my piece, right? Because then I can just like throw it in their face. You wouldn't have got this without me. You know, you'd be nothing without me. I like to throw that in, and then I'd just go to their gig and drink in the corner, and then say I need money for it.
Okay, so just to Nocturnal Emissions on the Nocturnal Emissions on Facebook. That's right. Fucking
Either way, it's fine. What is that? Is that it for bookings? Oh no, that is it. I want to say give a shout out to Aaron Allen though, doing a great job out there,
Sure is
getting
right
some
now.
play for a couple of his songs and
Getting
Absolutely.
hot.
new video with the Shaz.
Yeah, that's right.
it's awesome.
Yeah, things are really happening for some of my friends. You know what?
It's great.
I hope this wheel turns out better because I have a story I want to tell. Can Trudeau grope more than Harper is the question, right? Now, there's this Trudeau got in trouble like a while ago. Some reporter said he got a little handsy with her, you know? But you know how Trudeau's like good looking in French and stuff, you know? And you know how Harper was like the penguin,
A robot?
right?
Yeah.
The previous prime minister we had before Trudeau was not as attractive as Trudeau
Steely eye.
or as charming, right? So like if Trudeau goes up to a reporter, puts his hand on her like shoulder, you know, kind of like reaches in, maybe gives her the double cheek kiss, right, or whatever, gives her a warm hug or whatever, where he pushes her bosoms into his chest, you know. The girl's maybe going to be like, "Oh, I'm flattered." A little flush in the cheeks, right? If old Stephen Harper comes leering at you,
You got moths coming out of
you know,
there.
he's waddling with his big fat suit on, and he's like, "Rrr, "Come on, give me a double kiss." You're like, "God damn, that's nightmarish," right? So like, he's not going to get away with. Like, If anyone's going to get charged with a Me Too thing, it would be like Harper or Cretchien. Imagine Cretchien.
Zuta Lords.
Is he can only suck her left tit. I will just suck her one tit on the one side. His wife's got one big long stretch out nipple and one that's like one's never been touched. her Christian's wife's tit was like Popeye's spinach, you know. Didn't Popeye have his mouth on the one side? Cretchien needs some power to take on the states or whatever, and he's just like, "Mrr." I don't even know what his wife's name was because we don't give a shit about our leaders' wives, right, in this country. But Cretchien, he can only suck her one tit, is what I'm saying.
Bottom line.
Anyways, no argument there. Harper's not going to be able to grope ass as much as Trudeau can get away with. Because most of the girls aren't going to like give Trudeau shit for it. They're going to be like, "Can you believe you grabbed my ass? Like, I must have had a great day."
Sexy boy.
All right, let's roll it again. Oh, this is a lesson. Don't fuck the Me Too girls, is what it says on the wheel.
Topical.
Yeah, very topical. The latest guy to get caught in the Me Too scandal, Chris Hardwick. Do you know Chris Hardwick, the Nerdist? He's also was a host of a show called At Midnight. It was on Comedy Central. Stand-up comic. Anyways, he's like a good-looking blonde fellow who calls himself a nerd, and then it was banging models and stuff, you know, which nerds that I went to high school with never got to do.
Yeah, it's a new world.
Yeah. The nerds now get to, and this girlfriend of his was like a cosplayer, you know, like so she wore costumes and stuff, but so she would say she's a nerd too. But she's super hot, right? So like, I don't get it.
Do you think it's because what's that show that is happening on Big Bang Theory?
I don't know. I don't watch it. It's so terrible.
No, it doesn't have to do with that.
I just think it's just like all this. Like it doesn't matter if it's like when you go to Comic-Con, right? And you see the real nerds there, real nerds, and then you see like these hot chicks in like fucking Wonder Woman costumes that they look like so good, or the Catwoman or whatever, and they're just going there to be hot, and you're like, that's not a nerd. That's a girl that's just like maybe she's
super hot.
She's just super hot. Like, I mean, there's no way she's a nerd. She can do whatever she wants.
Nerd
you know?
comes from like the whole idea of being interested in gaming and
Like-
that whole scene of things, games and
that's
costumes and
yeah.
know, that
That's what you
make-believe
guys
stuff.
say it. That's what you guys say it is, right? It had a different meaning with us, right? Nerd was a disfigured person who was shunned from the rest of the society, right? And who was like brain didn't work right, and like was like everyone thought he didn't fit in, like he was someone ostracized by the group, you know. And that's what it made you a nerd. But now it's like you can be the most accepted person, still be a nerd because you like Star Wars, you know. I don't get it, you know. But anyways, I understand that the definition changed over time.
Sure.
And now it's more about the gaming or the obsession, or like even if you want, like, I'm a comedy nerd because I really enjoy comedy, watch a lot of stand-up comedy and study it, and so I'm probably a comedy nerd, you know, because I'm really into it.
It wasn't as forward back then. Like you didn't go forward and say, "Hey, I'm a gamer." Like that really didn't happen a lot. And it was more, you know, I do sports, I do, you know, this kind of a thing. So I think that's what kind of changed it, the openness of it, and how much it's kind of been more pushed out into the media.
Oh yeah.
I think that affects it more.
But if let's say, can a guy that plays for like the Patriots or something like that, can he still be a nerd?
Sports has never really been determined as a nerdy thing, though.
No, but what if he loves all that nerdy stuff and he plays football? Is he a nerd?
He would probably consider himself as a nerd.
Right.
In the dressing room, right? Because he'd be talking about comic books when all his teammates were talking about like.
I think it's like like what you just were saying earlier. Keith Tkachuk, an old hockey player of your era, right? He was just talking about his sons that play now, or one got drafted this year to the NHL, and the other one plays for the Calgary Flames. And he says he calls his kids nerds because they don't go out and party and get drunk before the games or in between games. They just go up and play video games like Call of Duty and Fortnite. and then they play hockey the next day. So are they nerds? I don't know, but that's what they do.
Even the professional wrestlers say that. They go like the young kids. They don't. They train. They watch their diet. They don't do anything bad.
No.
They go play video games all the time. You know, they're just like it's just like a different, sort of like I don't know, like different sort of
They're staying within
value
the
system
rules.
or whatever than what we were. We were like, as soon as you had the freedom, you'd go do the worst shit you could think of, right?
That's right.
You wouldn't like continue not to do it. And now these kids are just better than we were.
Yeah.
I think. I think for the most part it's true though. I think the younger kids are better, and then the worst ones are worse. The better ones are way better.
And the worst ones.
The worst ones are way worse.
Are
That's
they?
what I think. I think that's what I think about the kids. If you got your kids on the good side, they're like better than any kids you remember in when you were going to school. And if you have your kids on the bad side, if you have like a slutty kid, then that kid's probably way sluttier than our slutty kids were back in the day. But if you got like
Are we talking grade 7?
it doesn't have to be younger. I mean, the same age, like say like a 17-year-old that's like banging, right?
Okay.
Let's just say it. And then, which is reasonable, right?
Yeah, that's reasonable. 17?
What do you think is reasonable for losing your virginity?
Fuck.
What do you think, Dave?
14, sorry, 14, 15.
I would say 16.
Do you think 14, 15? Probably good. High school age? Grade 9?
Grade 9.
Steve, you say grade 9?
Oh, for sure. Once you've got the equipment, it's time to play.
Wes?
I have daughters, so never.
Never. 30 or 40, right?
Yeah.
Married.
Retired.
You almost feel sad for them because they're like, you're like, oh, you'll never find anyone. And you're like, oh, this poor guy, this guy's going to bang you. And feed your cats. You know? That's what I hope for my daughters, too, you know? Just a simple life like that. Never to be touched by a man. It's no big deal. What do you think, Kevin? You're a younger fella. When is it appropriate to lose your virginity, you think? When are you, like, ready for it? When do you think a person's ready for it?
It's dependent on the person. But I think an appropriate if you have a government that's going to set a number on something, I'd say 17.
17?
17, yeah. I think that's you're more mentally more prepared, physically you're a little bit more matured.
What's the rules now?
You still can't vote.
Yeah, but you can't. A grown-up can't fuck a 17-year-old.
It's like a tiered law, right? Like if you're, I think it's 18, but then if you're 16 and the other consensual person is also 16, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
is
something.
it?
In Canada, yeah.
You know
Something
a lot
like
about
that.
this, eh?
I don't know.
I have young kids.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, that's why, Dave. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so... No, it's like... because you can't get in trouble if you're a kid banging another kid, right?
Fuck you.
You shouldn't.
What?
You shouldn't.
Yeah, like if you're like two kids in
Two
high school.
16-year-old kids,
Yeah.
like
let's pretend that me and my wife had sex before we were married, right? Like,
you never would, but
no, because I'm Catholic and such.
right.
But if I would, I shouldn't be punished. She's 5 days older than me. Like, I shouldn't be punished for that, right? Even if she's like 10,
Right. Wow.
I'm less than 10.
Good for you.
Charter, what you know? What? How old I was the first time I saw naked tits of a girl in real life, like not a porno or not a movie, nothing, but like
not your mom.
Not your mom, nothing. Not like a breastfeeding person, aunt or something like that. Right? But like was the same time Paul saw him. Right, Paul? Do you remember? We were in our pool, and I've never told this story before. It's a great story.
Right.
There was these two girls that used to hang out on our farm, right? Their mom worked for us or whatever, and they were older than us. So I would have been like probably... This one, where do we have the pool by the greenhouse? Was that at our old farm or a new farm? That was our old farm. So I would have been like 11 or 12, tops. Probably 11, 10 or 11, right? Paul's 3 years younger than me, so he would have been like 7 or 8, right? Something like that, or 6 or 7. So he's probably around 7. Anyways, these girls would have been blossoming. Like, they had tits, so I don't know how old that makes them, but older than us. And the one was way older than us, so she had big tits, right? So
nice C cup.
yeah, so like we were just in the pool, in this like 4 foot above ground pool, and we were like talking to these girls, and we were trying to see if we could see their tits, right? So we were trying everything to try to see them, and then eventually I said like I would show my dick if they would show their tits, right? Like that was the deal.
That old trick.
Right. So we're swimming in the pool. I go in the greenhouse and show them my dick, and they laugh at me, right? and then Paul shows his dick, and then they laugh at me even more because they say my brother's dick's bigger than mine, and he's like 7, right? And then I'm like, okay, show your tits, girls. Like, seriously, man. You got to make fun of my dick and all this stuff. Like, I'm seeing some tits now. Like, this is a deal, right? And I remember the one girl. The one girl was pretty easy about it. This other girl was shy because she was way older than us. Like, she must have felt bad about it. She was way older. So she just went under the water and then, like came up out of the water and flashed her big, huge white tits. That was awesome. Hey, huh? You don't remember any of that?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that? That was young, man. You were young. That was a big deal. Like we couldn't believe it. Like we couldn't tell no one either.
Yeah, I was naked on the floaty.
Oh yeah. Paul was naked, so quick to show his dick, especially once I showed my dick. Like Paul's like, "Oh yeah, my dick's out. Fuck yeah, get those titties out, girls." Like, that's gotta be like a dream, you know. You're like 7. There's like a 14 or 15-year-old girl showing her tits to you. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Charles, you got any stories like that?
It's a good day. Good day on the farm now.
No, I don't. Not exactly like that.
Not exactly like that. No. We are about at an hour. You want to do one more spin of the wheel or just get it done?
Spin it to win it.
What do we got here? Let's just spin it one more time. Let's see what we got. This is the last one of the night.
Come on, baby.
I'm so happy this one landed on it because it just seems to be a story that's of great interest to many people in this room. A Japanese company has vowed to stop male harassment of dads, like harassment of dads.
Really?
Yes, because this is I think it was Mitsubishi.
Mrs. Bitchy?
Mitsubishi. Morgan Stanley Mitsubishi or something like that, or like it was a whole conglomerate Japanese company. And there's this Canadian dude who's over there, and he gets mat leave. It's in the policy where you work that you can get a parental leave.
Parental leave, yeah.
Even if you're a dude, right? And it's been that way in Japan for a long time.
Yeah, because you're still a parent.
Yeah, because you're a parent. You know, sometimes maybe the wife doesn't have benefits. They need yours. You know, sometimes the wife doesn't have the same ability to stay off, and you need you to, right? Anyways, right. Japanese government, they're no dummies. They allow that. Problem is, Japanese people don't allow it at all. They the men at work ride your ass heavy. If you say you're going to go on mat leave, they call you a super pussy, and you are not ready. Like, you're not dedicating enough of yourself to the company, and therefore you're like a piece of shit. They're just like all over you all the time. Like, you fucking dirty parental leave piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, it sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds ridiculous because our culture's past that. But when my kids are like 14 and 16 years old, and when I went off on parental leave, I told my dickhead boss at the time, there's this fucking old piece of shit boss I worked for. I said, I gotta go on parental leave. My wife was self-employed. She didn't get nothing, right? So I'm like, I got more money to stay home than I did to go to work. Like, because I got taxed at a lower rate or whatever. So it was like a no-brainer, man. My wife got 0. I got like the same. I have to take off, right? And my boss says to me, you know, the last guy that took parental leave got fired as soon as he got back, eh? That's what he tells me when I say I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna take my chances because I feel like I have a little law behind me, but whatever. Even if I don't, I'll take my chances because it's my family. It's more important than your stupid company, you dickhead. It was just old bullying, like old baby boomer bullshit. Look at this guy, you know. Hats off to the guy that did it like in the 80s, though, because that guy would have took some major shit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it makes sense like that, why?
You have to do it, man.
Yep.
You got to do what's best for your family. You don't care about what everyone thinks of you. You're like, well, one way I do this for my family, the other way I get I work hard and there's less people there for my kids. Like it's you don't have another choice. You have to do what's best for your family, right?
Absolutely. And what's best for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have time off. I would say now at like the people who work for me, I bet you it's 80% of them that have a baby. The guys will take parental leave. 80%.
Yeah, I think they should, at least for a few months.
Yeah, a few weeks or whatever.
Yeah, a few weeks, but even a month or two, it's good. Because I never regretted any of that time I lost. But when I got back, you do get punished, though. You go back to work, and I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you take a parental leave, when you get back to work, you're behind, and the people that stayed are ahead.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And so you end up getting treated like you feel like you're getting punished for going off to have a kid.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. But it's because you did go off, and you got to just lie on a couch.
So what's the company? Mitsubishi?
Mitsubishi.
Oh, yeah.
Mitsubishi.
Yeah, Mitsubishi. So they said they vowed to try to make this better, but they say it's such a cultural thing. They don't know how they're going to be able to prevent it because it's so ingrained in people. You ever dealt with the Japanese, Dave?
On occasion. They're good people.
Do you find that they're more work over family?
Yeah, I would say
than our culture
is more like live to work than work to live.
And do you think, and is that's generally accepted culture then? So it would be going against the grain if you didn't adopt that mentality. Do they cut slack to Canadians for thinking differently?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have to understand that they're dealing with a different.
Yeah, not just Canadians either, but all over.
If
the
you
world.
if they go to China or they go
Wherever
to
they go.
Germany or wherever they go.
Yeah.
They have to take into account that some people might not think the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be harder. It'd be a lot easier, especially if your country's on the good side of that, like them. Like if you're running a company and you're like, my country all just like wants to give me everything and they don't care, then you're like, I'm going to take advantage of my country people first because they're idiots, right?
Yeah.
You're saying Japanese are idiots, right? Just to close the show?
That's what you said.
Okay. And all right, thank you everyone for listening to our show. It is live from the Dutch Hall. Tell your friends. Let's do it some more. And give us some feedback at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. Until next week, we will see you and see you next Thursday.
I had broken string.
Yeah. Oh no.